Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Art of Attraction with Dominey Drew. My name is Dominey Drew. I am your host, and I am so grateful that you are joining me for in time. However long. If finding me again, by all means, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. This is a space where I have created a platform where I can teach about transformation, okay, about personal and business evolution. Take on identities from things outside of ourselves and end up so many years later really having no. This is a journey I have gone on myself for almost 20 years. I have studied the work that I now teach. I have delved into the depths of myself over and over and decipher what was really me and what was the bullshit that I had been for the last, 30 years. I'm fortunate to have come to this work incredibly early. I found it when I was 19 years old, and a mess of insecurities and body image issues and ungroundedness, depression, suicidal intent. And as this process really ended up revealing that who I was not who I thought I was, but it wasn't far off. They're completely false. It's that they're distortions of the truth. So, as an example, there's a moment I recall from healing school. I went to an intensive 4-year healing school. And in year 3, we did an exercise around letting go of the image of the self, right? Who do you think you are? And so we would write down on these cards, things that we've always decided about ourselves, right? Because it really is a decision about yourself. Oh, I am this person, and thus I need to be this person. And so we wrote these down, and one of mine was, I have to be international and exotic. Okay. My family would always make fun of me for being international and exotic because I was always more fascinated with other countries. I'm always drawn to things that are global, right? The United Nations, um, global organizations that really see the whole, you know. And I think that's admirable. To me, I'm drawn there. I've wanted to live abroad my whole life. I've spent a lot of time abroad. Interestingly, I'm actually in the process right now of really making that move and moving abroad. And I wrote down on that card about being international and exotic. And as she, part of the exercise, she would come around and she was taking the cards from us, like, we're letting go of our. Supposed to hand this card back. I didn't want to give it to her. I was like, no. Right? Look at the symbology here. I was like not willing to let go of this piece, or I was reluctant to. And she said something which clicked profoundly for me. She said, you can still be internet. You just don't have to be. And that is a really good example of how subtle these images of self can be, of how close to reality our distortions are. Okay. I am fairly international. I don't know if I'm exotic or not. That's mostly like what my mom sort of said to like make fun of me. But I am really internationally inclined. Here I am. I'm living in Europe. I'm making the move to Europe more permanently. So through this, I have developed this idea that I needed to be. So you take your natural gifts, right? And obviously all of this happens unconsciously, but we take our natural gifts. I am internationally inclined. I would rather travel internationally than domestically every fucking time. And I shifted it. I solidified it, right? Let's call that a natural flow of me, right? So if me being undefended and effortless and in my joy and simply just being as I am in my natural state, that flows through me. I will flow naturally toward an international lifestyle. Okay. And I took that natural flow and I solidified it out of fear. I made it into a thing, into an identity, into I am this person. As soon as you make that step, I am this person, I am this kind of person, then you step out of reality because you make a decision. Boom. Now it's solidified, meaning if for a moment you being in, you no longer have the option. So you're out of your authentic flow. It is no longer moving through you with authenticity. You have solidified it into something which cannot move. And in so doing, we do that and we do that and we do that. And so even though I am the international, can you see how the form of it changes? Because it is coming no longer from authenticity, but from fear. Well, I have to be international and exotic. Otherwise, who the fuck am I? Ah, and here we are. This may be a useful exercise for you if you are resonating with this. Okay. Write down all the things that are true as long as you want. Then sit for a few moments, breathe, follow my that I have on you to get centered, to get into your body, to calm. And then ask yourself, who would you be if you were none of those things? Who would you be if you weren't a successful businessman? If you weren't an entrepreneur? You weren't blonde. Those things carry meaning that we put on them. And whenever we put meaning, look at the words, I am putting meaning, meaning it wasn't there before. I am placing it onto something which perhaps does not need to be placed onto. Feel that we need these identities. I have to know who I am. Even that, the knowing of who you are means you consciously understand. Knowing who you are is not necessary for being who you are. You don't need to consciously understand it. You can simply fly on it, right? That flows through you. There is in this of the work is to live in that flow. You hear people, don't you, talking about flow, talking about being in the moment. Oh yeah, I get in that flow state and I da. That's your natural state, people. If you can live from that place, everything you want will happen. So it feels very uncomfortable in the beginning because I was a control person. Like surfing. Okay, when you actually get that wave, which by the way, another symbolic thing, I was never able to surf. I couldn't get far enough forward onto the wave such that it carried me. So I was always like so I was like paddling, you know. The layers of the levels of truth of this and the metaphor of my life are like hitting me as I'm speaking. It's like I was always working so hard. Life is so hard. Such a struggle. But it didn't need to be. Actually, it didn't need to be. I saw other people that were not working that hard, and yet for me, I saw no way out. You may feel the same way.